So here are some things that you could do to keep your energy really, really high especially when you're going through things. So the whole point of doing gratitude lists, affirmations, and trying to focus your attention and feelings on like good positive thoughts is not at all to suppress anything. There's times and moments to deal with things, but it's to create like a baseline of like that's your normal feeling, emotions, and your state, which is like this positive, loving, kind state. And from that state, you could perceive things easier, your creative energies easier flowing, um, like things that people say like feel like channeling or something comes through them and they write something down or their intuition speaks to them, these things become clear as well. So here are some things that you could do, especially this is for like especially if you're going through something, but it's always important to do it regularly so that when you're going through something it doesn't feel as intense. Like it could still feel like something, but it's not going to be as intense. And you know that you have tools and stuff to just keep pulling out so that you could get back to your baseline. And so that, and you know that you're not, and when you are in these states and going through things, you know that it's not you because you're usually in a higher state. So you might feel it. Sometimes you think that you feel it more, but it's just because it's so different from your regular energy. So it's actually helping you to remind you that like, hey, this is not your normal energy, and you need to come back to a calmer state so you could make decisions in this calmer state. Well, it's best to, or try to at least to make it in those states. So some things would be when something happens, when you're like a little frazzled and stuff like that. Maybe you hit your toe on the end of the bed. You say like, oh, wow, okay. Like you say like first, well, it's like, ow, like, oh my God. And then it's like, okay, it's all good. Wow, this is happening for me. And you could be like jumping up and down, like, and it's painful. It's like, this is happening for me. This is happening for me. And I've done that. so so like anything happens, like recently, um someone around me got stung by a bee, and I knew that they were okay in terms of like it was painful, but I had the right stuff around to be able to help them. And so I was just like, this is happening for you, this is happening for you. And they allow like, me to help them um, with like the antidotes and stuff that I had because I've been through that before. And then, um, and calendar reminder throughout the day. So like I have this set up regularly, but if you want to add it, if you're going through something and you haven't done it before, um, you could do it twice a day or 3 times a day, just spread out, and it could just even be a star to remind you. But I literally say like, um, it's different things like hold the frequency, be the frequency, um, uh, mindful awareness, and like, or some of them are like, one of them is like about manifestation, and I write different ones, different things. And so it's just about like reminding you because like maybe you're pulled into certain thoughts and certain things because you're going through something. But again, it doesn't have to be an energy that you need to stay in. Even though you're going through it, and it's easier said than done. That's why I'm giving you these tools, because I want you to come back into um, this other energy so that you could think clearly and make decisions better from that higher state, and you could be able to see things more from like a bird's eye view rather than being like um, pulled into it or feel like you're pulled into it. And so yeah, calendar throughout the day. Notes around the house. So like if you're able to put notes around the house or your room or wherever place that's personal and you're able to look at, even in drawers, I put my notes in the drawers, and this is on a regular, and they're affirmations and things that could remind me of like being of a good positive state and energy, like life has your back and things are happening for you, and then when I read it, I know that I need to go into a feeling state. So before you could even start, if you're first starting out, you could put in brackets feel it, so you could try to feel what it feels, that like, okay, everything's happening for you and everything's going to work out, and then like breathe into that. So those are really good to have those in your drawers, because you're pulling out your drawer to pull out um, your socks, your pants, or whatever it is every day, or in your closet, wherever. Um, Maybe put the note inside your shoe every time you put your shoes on. You look at it and then you put it somewhere, and then you put it back in at the end of the night. And then also breathing. There's different types of breathing techniques, but a simple one that you could do throughout the day is just taking like a double breath. Like, if you had like a good cry and then you end up having like this double breath, and it ends up like, that's usually when you stop crying sometimes, because it's like you've cried so much already, or someone says something or something comes to mind that like kind of relieves that stress, or you just feel like you are done crying and feeling this way, or whatever it is, but you end up having this double breath. And then so even doing that throughout the day, like right. And then there's also really good like 5 minute, 10 minute, even 2 minute breathing techniques online, um, to breathe in and out and hold your breath for a few seconds, if that's safe for you to do. Also, if you're going to watch something, make sure it's something uplifting. Do not go out and watch like horror movies and stuff like that. Like, even if I know some people like love horror, but you need to get your subconscious is listening right now, and you need to bring yourself in like a really kind, loving state. Unless, there are some people that go into a kind, loving state watching horror because they see it differently than others. But generally speaking, try to watch something like uplifting that's going to make you laugh, a light comedy, light in terms of like not it being like a darker comedy, because you want something like kind and loving as well, and uplifting. Um, what else? Guided meditations, yoga nidra. So guided meditations are good, especially if you're going through something, because sometimes your mind is a little bit all over the place, and that's okay too, to do your silent meditations at that time. But if you need to, there's always guided meditations online. There's yoga nidra meditation, which I find really helpful. There's body scanning, which yoga nidra is like a bit of that, but body scanning meditations. That's how I really got into meditations, and so that's really helpful. And and it's because Deepak Chopra talked about yoga nidra, and I was just like, yep, thank you. Like, I was already doing it once in a while, but then I saw that he was doing it, and I was like, oh, it's meant to be that I'm seeing it around the same time that I've been starting to do it. So it like really, really pushed the gear, and was just like, oh, if he's doing it and it's been doing it for a while, um, it's good for me too. Um, there's dancing, there's yoga, there's somatic exercises online, on YouTube and stuff. But dancing and yoga, again, uplifting music if you're doing dancing. And you could do like 5 minute mindfulness, or even 2 minutes, like before, after brushing your teeth, in the morning, in the evening. Something like just even walking around and just being like, okay, just being like couch, chair. That's like just looking around the house and doing things that keep you in the present moment. Because sometimes when we're going through something, the mind is trying to take you into these like thoughts and these fear based illusions sometimes. And maybe you are trying to figure something out. But it's not to say that, like, oh, I know some people say that, well, some thoughts come to me and it gives me like a solution. So if a solution comes to you, you could definitely write it down. But sometimes solutions also come to us more easily, and really good ones, when we keep putting ourselves in these better vibrations and energies and mental states. Um, and also, so a key thing to also do is also before bed, go into a feeling of okay, it all worked out. Like, and it might be hard depending on what you're going through. Not hard, it's just might take a few more tries than usual. I don't want to use that H word too often, but like might take a few more tries. So like you might have to feel like you're digging for a few minutes of like, what does it feel like if everything worked out, and imagine it, and then hold on to that feeling and let go of that image of what it looks like, but just like that feeling of like everything. And just like, and you could even do that double breath, and then like try to keep doing that, and then the thought might come back up again, and then try to go like, oh, if everything worked out, like how would I feel, what would I do, like, you could just even imagine yourself like doing like a shimmy, or like jumping up and down, or smiling and stuff like that. And so you could do that. And then also like, in addition, I didn't write this down, but I should have, smiling throughout the day. And it's not to reinforce negative thoughts that come up and you're smiling, but just like throughout the day, if you're like focusing on mindfulness and you're focusing on trees, it's just like smiling, and that changes the internal chemistry as well within the body. And then before you know it, it feels like a natural smile. Or it already does when you remember like, oh, I could just smile. And so yeah, so these are just some of the things that you could do if you're going through something right now, or at any point in your life. It's something that you could save to a playlist so that you could remember, okay, there are tools that I could just have and do, and I could just pull out on a whim, just if I ever go through something. And or you could tell people, there's these are like, if they come to you like, oh my god, you could give them some techniques and some tools, if they want the advice or not, but or if they want the advice, but yeah, so these are just some things that you could do to keep up your energy throughout the day. And you just got to keep at it and trust and believe that everything's working out for your good, and try to keep your energy. And it doesn't mean that it's going to keep your energy like this high of like, let's go party, let's go dancing. No, it's just trying to keep your energy at like this like loving, calm place that's more calm. And sometimes when we're going through something, no matter how many years we've been meditating, we could still get pulled into things here and there. And so it's not about like, oh, once I reach this state. No, once you reach a certain state, and or like years of meditation, you just know that you'll get through this, and everything is working out for you. And things will work out better than you expected. And you just got to believe and trust. And when you keep believing and trusting, and obviously taking action when need to, and when solutions come to mind, or when you finally are able to sit down and come up with like an idea of like a solution or strategy for what you're going through, or talk to someone, those are also very helpful. But there's pulling yourself up with these techniques and other types of tools that are out there will help you um, get to these solutions faster, and trust yourself more as well, because then you're able to hear your intuition more loudly. Because sometimes when we're going through something, these thoughts and these things or these fears come up, and it could cloud our judgment sometimes. And obviously everyone is different, but yeah. So I hope this helps. And these are just some of the things that could help you. I'm sure there's so many out there, but these are really good ones that you could do now, before you ever have to. Not that you ever want to think that you ever will. So I don't want you to think that like, oh, I'm manifesting something, but it's just like, oh, I just have tools in my toolbox. You just leave it there. You just need like a tune up. Think of it more of a tune up rather than like, oh, I'm expecting something to happen. And I'm gonna save it. And it's more of like a tune up. It's just like, oh, it's good to have a tune up. Or sometimes because you're having a tune up and you're going up a few elevators, and so no, I know that doesn't make sense if you're having a tune up, but a car and elevator. But you get the idea. Like you're having a tune up, and then you're going to go into new stages, and you're evolving into something more. And it feels like, oh my god, I'm going backwards, but you're not, because you're able to like trust that there are tools or are things, and you are trying, And so once you trust, and then you'll realize like, wow, I'm in like a different stage of my evolution than I have ever been before. Um, and so yeah, so that's gonna be really helpful if you are even just on your like on a regular day. These are going to be extremely helpful because then you'll really feel that energy because you're already at like a certain level and you're not getting pulled by all these like things that you're going through perhaps, and then you're like really bringing up your energy and frequency until you'll really feel these things when you do this every day, um, if you're not going through it. So but if you are going through it, that's also a place you could start. And and it'll really make you trust and believe as well that like, hey, that like there are tools out there that could help me. And yeah, so I hope this helps, and I'll see you all later.